What's your name and your position here at Lionel University?
Hi, I'm Karisha Dearing, and I am adjunct faculty at Lionel, and I've been here for just over 3 years.
Oh, wow, that's great. What made you choose Lionel University as a place to teach?
I chose Lionel because I know Bob, who is the dean. We worked together previously at a health club, and he approached me during COVID when our health club closed down and presented an opportunity for me to teach. It's great. I'm doing something I'm passionate about. I get to share that with our students. So it's been a win-win for everybody.
I love that. And from what I've seen so far, every adjunct faculty is carefully chosen. Obviously, Lionel is very focused on exercise science. So the people that are coming in not only need to know exercise science, but to some degree need to be a practitioner of some sort or have had experience in the industry. What type of industry experience have you had with exercise science before coming in to Lionel?
Sure. So I have over 20 years of experience in the health and fitness industry. So I have personal trained, I'm a post rehab specialist. I have managed a large fitness team for many years and recruited, hired, trained, managed them, um, and worked with a wide variety of clients from youth sports all the way up to elderly clients that are dealing with conditions like Parkinson's and other autoimmune diseases.
Oh, wow. So you have a pretty extensive background. And can you remind everyone what course you're teaching currently?
I teach a lot of the business and communication courses at Lionel.
Okay, cool. And how do you see that fitting in as like a personal trainer? Oh, sorry, you're going to say something?
I've been working with Martin Rooney, our chancellor,
Mhm.
and I've been TAing for him for his coaching and presenting classes. I've also taught youth fitness, and I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I have my undergrad in business. While I was doing that, I became a certified personal trainer through ISSA. She's affiliated with Lionel, and that was over 20 years ago, and have gotten countless certifications since then, and also became a post rehab specialist and have attended, gosh, probably 10 or 12 idea fitness conventions. They're not so big now, but prior to COVID, they were huge. They'd have 20, 40,000 participants from all over the world. And it was I would take my entire staff for continuing education. And it was just 3 or 4 days packed full of classes from the best in the industry. And it was really cool. But I think it sounds like it's diminished since then, since COVID. But that was such a valuable thing that just re inspired everybody every year and just learning all the new trends in the industry. That is one thing that I love about health and fitness is it's ever evolving. You're constantly learning new stuff because new research is coming out, right? New things are being learned about the body and movement and different cycles in a person's life, their seasons and where they're at, whether it's being an athlete or aging or any of that kind of stuff. There's always new information. And so that's something that has really been one of my passions is just trying to stay up to date on everything that's coming out and trying to relay that to our students in a way that is beneficial to them on their career path.
That makes sense. Yeah, constant, like continuous learning. When you were doing the continuous learning, when you had a team underneath you, obviously you went to these events pre-COVID. When What do you think would be helpful, like in today's age where attention span is short, but you also want to push them to learn more? So think if you have a personal trainer underneath you, but you're like, hey, you need to learn more. Would it be small lessons within a few minutes, micro courses, full blown CEU courses? What do you think would be the best for like today's day and age of learning and making yourself better every day?
I think a combination, honestly, because there are some courses that you just, when you're talking about anatomy and physiology and some of those things, you really have to have a good understanding, and that's not something you can do in snippets. Um, so those do require full courses. There's not really any way around that. But I think just there's so much out there to learn. I'm doing a ton of coaching right now for my kids. And so youth fitness and sports and stuff wasn't something that I was really drawn to until this point in my life where I'm doing a lot of coaching. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a sponge. I'm trying to pick up as much as I can so that I can help these kids. And in that case, there's all kinds of information out there, but it's fun to see like different drills and things that people are posting. And that might be where you see little snippets, clips of stuff. And that could be beneficial. So I think it's a combination of both, honestly. It's interesting. So I teach a lot of the business and communication courses, and they're 5-week courses. So this is fast paced. And I love that. For me, in my attention span, it is something I used to joke with my trainers all the time about this. It's like a common personal trainer characteristic. It's like we all have ADD. We're like faster. And so I like that. But I know there's just some courses that, like I was saying, anatomy and physiology, some of those that really do require a good 10-week course minimum to understand the content and be able to put it to practice.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you were, I like going back because you obviously had 20 years, you were a personal trainer, you had personal trainers underneath you. There are very big questions that come into play where people ask, why do I have to get associates or bachelor's in exercise science versus just getting a certificate or a certification? Have you had experience training or having people underneath you that either just had their certification, they came in, versus someone that actually had an exercise science degree or a bachelor's degree coming in? Have you had that combination of people come in underneath you before?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of trainers in my career. And while I have had some come in that just had a certification, I am telling you the benefits of having a degree are insurmountable. And I say that because, yes, with a certification, you can get the basics in terms of personal training, right? You can understand the basics of anatomy and physiology and movement and all of the nutrition and all of that. However, when you are working on your bachelor's, you're taking additional classes, right? You're taking communication classes. That is a huge component in working with clients, with the public. And that's not just for personal trainers, that's in any job that you have. That ability to be able to communicate clearly and effectively, knowing how to actively listen, being sympathetic. What do you say when your client comes in and they're in tears? They've had a rough day. How do you handle that? So, all of the business courses, being able to manage your time, those are things that are taught with those are classes that are given to you in your bachelor's degree. When you're working in your bachelor's degree, it's so important. So I think, obviously, especially in this industry, the more education that you have under your belt, the better. You want to be able to handle any client that is sitting in front of you, right? Because you might have somebody coming in that's a 14-year-old soccer player, and then the next hour you have somebody coming in who is a 55-year-old woman in full-blown menopause. Okay, how do you handle this? What do you say to them? What advice can you give? So as much education and different classes that you can take, that will differentiate you among all the other competition, and you will stand above.
I love that answer. That's great. I think that's going to be really powerful for people to hear as well. Obviously, there's different education levels between just a certification and bachelor's.
Just also being able to write an email, if that's not something that you are accustomed to doing, what's going to happen when your clients are emailing you or your boss is emailing you? Being able to present something that is professional is really important. And that's one of the things that we focus on at Lionel is I want my students to leave my class and be able to produce a quality email. things have changed. We have a lot of AI, and even when I'm trying to write an email in Google, it's, oh, correct it. You should use this. And I'm like, gosh, is my grammar that bad? It's
I've
like,
had
well,
that too. Yeah.
it's trying to make it more concise, is always what it says to me. And there's tools out there to help, but being able to do that is really important and it represents you in a more professional.
I like that. Why would you recommend Lionel University to students that are looking to get education in exercise science?
We specialize in exercise science. That is our college. And we have some fabulous faculty with a lot of experience and a lot to offer. So, in a nutshell, that is how I would summarize that.